It looks like the streets have been talking, and 50 Cent, he's not holding back. The rap mogul just put Big Meech on blast, and the reason, well, let's just say it's got the internet in a chokehold. If you thought loyalty was everything in the game, this might change your mind. But what exactly did 50 say? I never fold, never told, never will. Death before dishonor always. And is Big Meech really out here breaking the code? Buckle up because this one's about to get messy. There's one thing we know about 50 Cent, it's that he holds grudges like they're part of his brand. And when it comes to Rick Ross, that's been his #1 op for years. But now, Big Meech has entered the chat, and let's just say 50 is not happy. See, Meech linked up with Rick Ross, and 50 took that personally, real personally. But here's where it gets crazy, Meech is now flipping the script, claiming 50 is the real snitch. Yeah, you heard that right. So what's the truth here? Is 50 just mad that Meech is doing business with his enemy, or is there something deeper going on? This is one messy situation, so let's get into it. Alright, let's break this down. Big Meech took a picture with Rick Ross, and that was all it took for 50 Cent to lose it. Now you all know 50 doesn't play about his enemies, especially not Ross, who's been a thorn in his side for years. So when footage dropped with Meech chilling with Ross like they're besties, 50 went nuclear. February 13th, the Big Meech benefit concert, it's going to be iconic. Too many names to list, but let me salute some of the legends: Lil Baby, Boss Man Dolo, 21 Savage, Sexy Red, Ricky Rosie. Now, this is the first time it's ever been done. And he didn't just call Meech out, he went straight for the jugular, throwing out accusations that Meech was an informant. That's when the name Tammy Cowan got thrown into the mix, and trust me, that changed everything. But before we get into Tammy Cowan's role in this mess, you got to understand exactly who we're dealing with here. If you don't know who Big Meech is, don't worry, I got you. Let's break this down real quick. Big Meech is one of the most infamous figures in hip-hop and street history. He's the founder of the Black Mafia family, BMF, a massive drug trafficking and money laundering operation that started in Detroit back in 1985. And he didn't do it alone. He and his brother, Southwest T, built one of the most powerful crime organizations in American history. Now, what made BMF different from other crews was how they mixed business with the streets. They were the first to use the hip-hop industry as a front to clean their money from drug sales. And they weren't just in the background, they were actively involved in the music game, promoting some of the biggest names in hip-hop at the time. They even started their own record label, but their only real artist was Blue Da Vinci. Spoiler alert, Blue never made it big, and he also ended up behind bars. BMF raked in hundreds of millions of dollars before it all came crashing down. In total, they reportedly made over $270 million before the feds shut them down. And this whole crazy story? Yeah, it was so wild that 50 Cent himself decided to turn it into a TV show. Now, here's where it gets even crazier. The guy playing Big Meech on the show? That's Lil Meech, Big Meech's actual son. Meanwhile, Big Meech has been locked up for almost 20 years after being convicted for running a massive criminal enterprise stretching from Atlanta to Detroit and beyond. But recently, he got a serious break in his sentence, and that is where Tammy Cowan comes into play. Now, when 50 says he's going to go nuclear and expose Meech's unhandled antics in a documentary, you know it's about to hit the fan. See, 50 didn't just pull that informant claim out of thin air, he came with receipts. According to him, Tammy Cowan was a key figure in getting Meech's sentence reduced. And the way 50 tells it, Meech had to do a whole lot of talking to make that happen. And you already know, in the streets, the worst thing you can be labeled as is a snitch. Well, sources from all over the internet are speaking on this matter, including what was in Tammy's sworn affidavit. She expressly states that Demetrius Flenory, aka Big Meech, put her in contact with Fidel Suarez out of California and Dion Gatlin, who is, Cuffy, out of St. Louis, to arrange a large sale of drugs. Adding fuel to the fire, 50 Cent is doubling down on his accusations. In a separate post, he suggested that Meech's former assistant and BMF producer, Tammy Cowan, might have had a major hand in the OG's downfall. And it's not just speculation. 50's hinting at an upcoming TV documentary that could expose the real reason the organization fell apart. The biggest mistake he ever made was not sustaining his relationship with Tammy Cowan, 50 wrote, posting a rap meme to drive the point home. Now, this wasn't just shade, this was 50 straight up implying that Tammy, who has already been accused of cooperating with the feds, played a critical role in Meech's case. And according to Vibe, things might actually be worse than we thought. While Meech has always maintained his down-by-law persona, reports suggest he may have engaged in third-party cooperation while in prison to personally benefit from it. And this is why his early release is raising so many eyebrows. After over a decade behind bars, Meech managed to get a major break. His 30-year sentence was reduced, and in October 2024, he was moved to a halfway house. According to Hip Hop DX, he's expected to stay under the Bureau of Prisons' Miami Residential Reentry Management Office until January 2026. But let's be real, with the kind of allegations flying around, Meech's name is getting real messy right now. And the fallout? Oh, it's already starting. Tension between 50 Cent and Big Meech is now officially affecting the hip-hop scene. Reports say some artists, including Atlanta rapper Lil Baby, may have pulled out of events following the snitching allegations. If true, this could have serious consequences for Meech's comeback. The funny thing is they were saying Lil Baby pulled up on them in a Ferrari truck, pockets full of money, and didn't give them anything. 50 wrote, "Lil Baby was 5 when you got indicted, what the F*** he owe you?" But Meech wasn't about to let that slide. He clapped back, basically saying 50 is just salty that he's doing business with Rick Ross. "I never fold, never told, never will. Death before dishonor." And honestly, it's not hard to see why 50 would feel some type of way. He's been beefing with Ross for years, and now Meech is out here rubbing elbows with the opposition. Y'all going to be disappointed when Lil Baby don't show up, when Skill don't show up, when V don't show up. All these people don't show up. He can't even go, he on house arrest. He can't even go. Yeah, that was never going to sit right with 50. But what really has folks talking is whether 50's claims hold any weight, and if Meech really cut a deal behind the scenes. Tammy Cowan's played a role, but so did 50 Cent. Reggie Wright said Meech got off lightly because 50 was backing him. 50 saw Meech as someone he fully supported, but when Meech linked up with Rick Ross, that loyalty was gone. A lot of y'all don't know who Tammy Cowans is. Tammy is the young lady that's been accused of always cooperating with the government to help Big Meech get out of his situation or lessen his sentence. A lot of y'all say, "How come 30 years turned into 20 years, and y'all still say he snitched?" Well, because he didn't get 50 years, that's how that happens. But now, 50 is calling him a snitch and making sure the industry turns on him. Reggie also suggested that 50 has his own snitching ties, flipping the script on him. The tables have turned. But now, 50 posted that tweet talking about doing a documentary on that, explaining how quick the tables turn. Rick Ross isn't letting 50 Cent have the last word. In the clips, Ross makes it clear that Meech's loyalty is up for debate. He calls out the industry for taking things too personally, doubling down that 50's reaction is all about ego, not facts. Ross warns that tearing others down won't build you up and reminds folks that real bosses don't crumble under pressure. Rick Ross is doing what he does best, stirring the pot. He's not just defending Meech, he's driving a wedge between him and 50 and loving every second of it. Like a hoe, put your back against the wall and just slide down. You already know. Car show going down June 7th. Get online right now, get your tickets right now. But for the hustlers, Ross wants them to understand. You gotta stop making business personal. Ross downplays the snitching allegations, making it seem like 50 is just bitter and taking things too personally. Get your money. You don't know these dudes don't know you. If anybody going against Ricky Rosie, let me have this. I've been putting my foot up you for the last 15 years. Everything you touch crumbles. Why do you think he's positioning himself as the real boss while making sure the tension between Meech and 50 keeps growing? And let's be real, he's reveling in the chaos. I've been separated from these broke dudes cause they don't understand the rules to the streets. You understand? Nobody owe you nothing, homie. Don't nobody owe you nothing. Y'all get money together, y'all get money, keep moving. All that extra S asterisk asterisk asterisk. You don't even have a relationship with your own brothers, your own mothers and fathers. How the F asterisk 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 you gonna act like you real close with somebody? Stop all that fake happiness. This feud with Ross adds another layer to the chaos. Their beef stretches back to 2008, fueled by diss tracks, legal battles, and one infamous lawsuit that cost 50 a cool $7 million. Ross took another shot last year, calling 50 broke. But if history has proven anything, it's that 50 never lets things slide, and neither does Meech. I can't believe a stand-up dude during his time would suddenly say, I don't want to be here no more. I'm gonna become a rat now. The drama is threatening more than just egos, it's putting 50's business at risk. Word is this might be the final season of BMF, a show tied to his $150 million Starz deal. Walking away from that money would hurt most people, but 50 plays the long game. If he built it once, he'll do it again, because once you cross him, there's no coming back. But here's what Meech might not be seeing. While he was locked up, 50 was the one making sure his name stayed relevant, making sure his family had opportunities. BMF isn't just a show, it was a lifeline. 50's support helped keep the brand alive. Now, here's where things take a real turn. Lil Meech, Big Meech's own son, is caught in the middle, and from the looks of it, he's leaning toward his father's side. 50 just posted a text from Lil Meech, and it's messy. Lil Meech says he'd take the shirt off his back for 50, but at the same time, he's defending his father's connection to Rick Ross. And here's the kicker, he flat out admits that Ross gave Big Meech money to hold him over until BMF picks back up. So now, Ross isn't just playing instigator, he's got Big Meech and his son in his pocket. Here's what Lil Meech said. They just told me you unfollowed me on Instagram, and now you managing Skillababy with Rocket when I brought him around you first, when you didn't have a clue who he was. Now you mad at me when I would take the shirt off my back for you. I can't believe this, man. You act as if I'm your enemy. I've only showed you love and loyalty. I'm human, I go through my own ish, but I never switched up on you, Fr. Ross. He gave my dad some bread so he can afford to pay his bills until our next season starts. And the game? Oh, he wasted no time jumping into the drama. He posted the conversation clowning Lil Meech for not standing firm with his dad and trying to play ball in both courts. Just seen a text from Lil Meech to 50 that got me dying. Hey Lil Meech, you were supposed to be like, F you, this BMF, and I'm standing with my pops. Now, me and Fifth got our own issues, but them ish on pause while I post this. Then Fifth said, What's your little EG on do? I damn near spit my water out. What happened to Gangsta, man? Big Meech, you can't let 50 get at you like that. So now it's clear, Lil Meech is biting the hand that fed him. 50 Cent kept his family afloat, built his career, and put BMF on the map. And now, with Ross lurking in the shadows, Lil Meech is switching up. This is betrayal on another level. But wait, you might be thinking this is just a case of he said, she said? Nope, we've got receipts, and the biggest bombshell? Blue Da Vinci himself is backing 50's claims. Now, why is Blue Da Vinci so important in this? Because he is the reason 50 is calling Big Meech a rat. Blue came out and laid it all out, and it all comes back to Tammy Cowens. Tammy wasn't just anybody. She was a key player in the BMF empire, even becoming a co-producer of the Starz show. But here's the kicker, she was also a government informant since 2009. And how did she get there? She took control of BMF Entertainment from inside prison, becoming the owner in 2008. Just a year later, she flipped and started working with the feds, received the time cut because what came out was that she had an illicit relationship with Special Agent Keith Cromer, Special Agent Keith Handler. And it gets worse. Blue says the only reason Big Meech was even getting an early release was because they set up Cuffy, one of Meech's longtime associates, to take the fall. That deal was supposed to get Meech out as early as 2018, but it all collapsed when Tammy got caught having a relationship with a DA officer. Once that scandal blew up, the case fell apart. At first, nobody wanted to believe Blue Da Vinci. People dismissed him as a bitter hater because Big Meech's entire legacy was built on never snitching. But now, Blue is putting people on the phone to tell their side of the story, and suddenly, what seemed impossible is looking very real. Even with all the receipts laid out, there are still some flying monkeys trying to back Big Meech. And right on cue, young Buck jumps in, trying to stand up for Meech. Playing with dude, quit playing with dude. You know I'm going to say that much. Over and out. I catch y'all when I see child was BU. But if there's one thing we know about 50 Cent, it's that he doesn't do second chances. His response? No mercy. This fool fell out with me because he liked boys, 50 Cent wrote. I didn't tell him to go love on a __. He couldn't resist like that busy. Then he took it a step further, clowning Meech, saying that he was about to end up on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. I'll give Mona Scott Young, executive producer of the reality series, a call for him later today. And let's be real, 50 warned everyone already. He straight up said it on The Breakfast Club. If you are teetering on the fence, I'm going to put you on the other side. No in between, no neutral ground. You ride with Ross, go get money with Ross, but 50, he's done with you. Now, of course, the haters are out in full force, calling 50 a culture vulture and claiming he's stirring up drama just to hype promotions. But let's take a step back. Who's really benefiting from all of this? So BMF is BMF not because of 50, it's because of Big Meech, right? That's his story, that's his life, right? So I don't think 50 doing them no favors. They both profited, right? That's right, both sides have cashed in on the BMF game, and yet somehow, 50 is the one getting called out for playing the game right. I don't mean I owe you no loyalty. That means I can't go get money elsewhere, right? If more money get presented to me, right? I'm going to go get me a bag. I just did 20 years in prison, right? I'm not going to let nobody stop no bags coming in because of y'all beef, bro. At the end of the day, this beef isn't about promotions, it's about loyalty. And if there's one thing 50 doesn't tolerate, it's people switching sides when it's convenient. Big Meech out here acting like he's unbothered, smiling, flexing gifts, and enjoying life like there's no war brewing. Famous red, white, and black joints. Okay, came through, huh? Yeah, back joints. I love gifts. Well, let's be real. We've seen what happens to people who cross 50. It never ends well. So Meech better enjoy those gifts while he can because tough days are coming. Believe that. The drama is far from over, and you already know 50 isn't letting this slide. Big Meech might think he's untouchable, but history shows that when you go against 50, the fallout always comes. But what do you think? Is Big Meech making a huge mistake siding with Rick Ross? And will 50 really walk away from BMF for good?